Hey guys, my name is Damon, and this is my start of a series I call 32 NFL Teams. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to try to fit all 32 teams in before the Combine starts and before free agency starts. I'm going to try to go over each NFL team. I'm going to start out with the Chiefs today. I'm going to go over each NFL team, kind of give an overview of what I think about them, maybe what I think their best record can be, maybe what I think their worst record can be, what I think basically what I think their standings are right now, what I think the team should do from here. I'm going to try to cover a wide variety of things over the topic, but basically I'm going to be doing 3 or more videos over the team, one right now over each team, one post free agency, and then another post draft, and then probably a 4th one right before the season starts, specifically for each team. So I'll start out with the Kansas City Chiefs today, and so I've looked up a little bit of information about the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't want to get a whole lot of expert advice because I like to go based off my opinion and what I know about the team, and I know at least 11 to 20 players on the roster. I could name 11 just off the top of my head probably without looking up anything, but so I'm going to go ahead and start out at the beginning. Obviously, the Chiefs have the number 1 overall pick. They're the 32 team in the standings this last year. Why this happened? Obviously, it's poor quarterback play. Matt Castle did horrible, and Brady Quinn, their backup, did probably even worse in some instances. I know he had a higher ratio of interceptions to touchdowns. He had way more interceptions than touchdowns. Both of them had more interceptions than touchdowns. And basically that team was just sloppy on offense in general. One thing I did like that I saw out of the offense is, although some of the statistics may look a little weird, I like their offensive line a little. I don't love their offensive line, but I like their offensive line in the sense that they can get Jamal Charles to run. I've seen them have some good players. I saw reports that in Week 11, they had 2 of their starters go down, their center and their right guard, who I forgot their name, my bad. But I know their center is like Ryan Lilja, if I'm saying that right. I forgot who their right guard is. It's like I think Brandon Albert is left tackle. But anyway, I like their line a lot. When I was looking up at the lineup, I like them. I've seen them play on TV. I watched them play the Colts. What I did like about their offense is their ability to run. Jamal Charles did an amazing job. He came back from an ACL injury, and although his totals aren't Adrian Peterson level, they're pretty good. I think that he's going to be a positive spot for the team to keep going on. He gets good bursts. He's got that top end speed that when he breaks open, probably almost nobody on the field can catch him. And overall, I like him. So I don't think they should waste any picks on running back in this draft. If you're a team and you have a position set like running back like this, I don't think they should waste any picks on running back. If I see them draft a running back or pick a running back up in free agency, it'll be purely for backup purposes, and I don't even think they're going to do that. I think Jamal Charles is the guy. He may not be an every down back, but he's very, very amazing from what I've seen of him. So, which brings me on to my second point, their defense. On defense, they have Tom Bahali, I think Daryl Johnson, and a few other guys at linebacker that I like a lot, actually. And last year, their first pick in the draft, first round pick was Dontari Poe. From what I've seen, he was kind of a bust in a lot of ways. He was this guy who was freakishly athletic. He was the guy who I was amazed when I saw him at the Combine. Altogether, that defense wasn't very good on rushing defense, and they were actually really good on passing defense. Yards-wise, I'm pretty sure they were ranked 12th from what I saw. And so I think that's something they can build off of. They have one of the in my opinion, the best safeties in the game, Eric Berry. And I know they have Javier Arenas, and I believe Brandon Flowers is still there at cornerback. So I think those guys can do a lot on the team, but I don't know how well they're going to be able to do next year. So my next point is, where should they go with the number 1 overall pick? I've addressed past offense, which sucked last year, probably one of the worst, if not the worst in the NFL. Rush offense was pretty good. It could improve, but they were the 32 overall team, so you can't expect much out of that team, even with their strongest position being that. Their passing defense is good, but their rushing defense is bad. So, looking at the number 1 overall pick and looking at free agency, I didn't see any quarterbacks I really liked for the Kansas City Chiefs to get in free agency. I was looking at the quarterbacks. I was looking at some names. I saw Jason Campbell. Joe Flacco's obviously going to be re-signed, but so if you see his name, don't believe that. Joe Flacco's going to be re-signed right now. If he hasn't been already, which I'm pretty sure he hasn't, but if he hasn't already, he's going to command a huge amount of money, and there's no way the Chiefs are going to get him, so take him out of your mind. One of the things is they were going to see if they could get from the Philadelphia Eagles, where their new head coach Andy Reid came from, they were going to see if they could get Nick Foles. People liked what they saw about Nick Foles, and I don't know about him. I think he's just a young guy. He had 2 good games. Teams didn't know about him going into those games. He had 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, I'm pretty sure. And while that's a better stat than their 2 quarterbacks they have right now, teams were prepared for Matt Castle and Brady Quinn whenever they were playing. And teams weren't prepared for Nick Foles whenever he came into play. And Nick Foles was also playing against some of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. They weren't the worst, but they were some of the worst. I don't know their exact rankings, but I don't like Nick Foles that much for the Cardinals. For the Chiefs, sorry, my bad. I think the Chiefs, with the number 1 overall pick, I could see them drafting Geno Smith, but that's a need to me. I don't think Geno Smith is worth the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to be doing videos over a lot of top first-round draft guys later in this next few months. But right now, I don't think Geno Smith is worth the number 1 overall pick. If I were the Chiefs, I would take the number 1 overall pick, and I would trade down. And there's not a lot they're probably going to get for it. I don't know how many teams would move up, just because there is no for sure number 1 overall pick. Obviously, last year it was Andrew Luck who went to the Colts. Year before that, it was Cam Newton, although he wasn't very sure that the Panthers were going to take him till later on. But there isn't a guy that has that top-level talent at quarterback position. This quarterback position class is probably the weakest we've seen in a while. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think any of these guys are going to have fantastic NFL careers. And I hate to say that before seeing them, but seeing these guys play in college, I've watched a few of their college games, a lot of the top guys' college games. Ryan Nassib, Tyler Wilson, Geno Smith, everybody. I've seen all their, Mike Glennon, I've seen all their stuff. A lot of their stuff. I've seen highlights of them. I've kind of analyzed them each for my own, so I can see what they're like and what this first round. So, in the end, I think the Chiefs, in my opinion, their best decision would be to trade down the pick. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to draft out of need. Probably end up getting Geno Smith is what you're going to see, because I don't think there's another quarterback worth that position. They're going to draft out of needing a quarterback, and I don't think there's another guy who they're going to think is better at this point in time. What I would like to see them do if they don't trade down the pick, if they try to trade down and no team wants to trade up and get that number 1 overall pick, maybe the Chargers would want to do that, because the Chargers have need a left tackle, could get Luke Jokel. But I think right now their best decision would be to trade down the pick or draft an offensive lineman. I don't think they should draft Geno Smith. Now, as far as offensive lineman goes, I know their offensive line was okay this year, and just because of injuries in Week 11, it looked a lot worse than it was with quarterbacks hits. I believe they were number 5 in most quarterback hits, which is this alarming statistic for them. And also they were like number 11 for quarterback sacks. So that's not very good for them. So what I think they should do is draft a lineman. Even if they don't necessarily need one, their offensive line was obviously not the best in the NFL. They do not have a player on that line who is the best at his position in the NFL. And in my opinion, the offensive line class here is amazing this year. It is very thick at the top level talent. There's plenty of guys who I think are going to do great in the NFL who have great skills as blockers and passing and rushing. So if I were number 1 overall Chiefs, I would try to trade the pick down, and if that doesn't work, I would draft a lineman, whether it's Luke Jokel, who's really amazing, or a guard like Jonathan Cooper, Chance Warmack, he's amazing, and I mean you could take any guy off the Alabama line, and he'd be pretty good. I don't think they should all go number 1 overall, but I think Chance Warmack would be worth the number 1 overall pick. I think Luke Jokel would be a number 1 overall pick, but what I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do is I think you will see Geno Smith on the Kansas City Chiefs. As much as I hate to say that, I think that's the reality because they need a quarterback and they will draft out of need. So, thanks for watching, guys. That's my thing over the Kansas City Chiefs. What I think they're going to do next year is, it really depends a lot on what they do at quarterback. If they get one out of free agency, or if they get one out of the draft. But right now, with the quarterback talent available they have, I could see the best the Chiefs could go. I don't think they're going to get past 7 wins. And 7 wins would be a huge improvement. That would mean they would have to get a great quarterback out of the draft and him be fantastic. I think 7-9 is their best record they could do. What I think is going to happen is I think whether they trade down or whatever quarterback they get, I do not think a quarterback is going to be that they get this year is going to be the solution, and I think they're going to run into problems going into next year. I hate to say it like that. I don't want to make you fans more gloomy, but I do not think next year they honestly have a huge chance. This is going to be a rebuilding process. Obviously, they just hired a new head coach in Andy Reid, and I'm interested to see what he does. I used to be an Eagles fan when they had Donovan McNabb, and I like Donovan McNabb a lot. And I want to see what the Kansas City Chiefs can get at quarterback right now, and what they're going to do with that number 1 overall pick. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the Jacksonville Jaguars, or their 2nd overall team, pretty sure, right? Anyway, whatever team's 2nd, I'm going to be doing them tomorrow. I just blanked out and forgot about that. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you got to this point in the video. Anything would help. If you comment, that's all you can do. It's great. If you can rate it, do that. It's great for me. I need all the ratings I can get. This is going to be a young channel. And if you can subscribe, that would be amazing, guys. Thanks for watching. That's my thing on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they are going to improve next year, but I don't think they're going to improve a huge amount. I think it's going to be a rebuilding process. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later.